Hello, and welcome. Tonight we're going to take a quiet journey back in time to the cold stone halls of medieval castles. Just settle in, let your mind wander, and allow yourself to relax. Before we begin, I'd love to know where you're joining from. You can leave a comment with your city, country, or even the time of day you're watching this, just to share a little moment across time. If you enjoy this journey through history, don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell so you can join me for more cozy, calming explorations of the past. Tonight we drift through frozen corridors, candlelight flickering softly across stone walls, and wander through the quiet of medieval castles as the winter night stretches on. Feel the soft chill of the stone beneath your feet, the warmth of wool and fire in the rooms around you, and let yourself sink slowly into this quiet, ancient world. Section 1. The cold of medieval nights and night rituals. Subtopic: evening routines, preparing for bed, and the first moments of night in a medieval castle. Background: faint crackling fire, soft wind, distant animal noises. As evening falls, the castle begins to quiet. During the day, the halls are filled with the bustle of servants, the clatter of armor, and the echoes of voices. Now the stone corridors soften into a slower rhythm. Torches flicker gently along the walls, and the last glow of the sun slips behind the towers, leaving the castle wrapped in shadow. People begin their nightly routines. Bathing, when it can be arranged, is a small, careful ritual. Warm water poured into basins, a soft cloth brushing over the skin, letting the chill of the stone fade. If you are a royal, this bath may carry a small sense of indulgence, the scent of herbs lingering in the water, a moment of warmth before the night fully settles. Clothing is replaced with heavier layers. Soft woolen garments, thick cloaks or blankets are gathered around shoulders. Even inside the massive walls, the cold nips quietly, and each fold of fabric, each layer of wool becomes a comforting, deliberate act. The evening meal, modest or grand, marks the beginning of the night ritual. Candles are lit carefully, their warm glow reflecting off stone and tapestry. Servants move quietly, tidying rooms, stacking logs for the fire, and sliding small bed warmers, pans filled with glowing coals under the blankets. The warmth spreads slowly, curling around toes, ankles, legs, and eventually the whole body, a small intimate comfort. Chambers are prepared for the night. Beds, draped in heavy curtains to trap the faint warmth of the hearth, invite you in. Straw mattresses, soft feathers, and thick blankets create a small island of comfort in the cold stone room. The floors are hard and chilly, yet the bed feels like a warm sanctuary, and the flickering candlelight makes every shadow dance softly along the walls. As you settle, shadows lean closer to the corners, stretching and folding gently over tapestries, paintings, and stone. The wind whispers through narrow windows, wooden beams creak softly, and distant animals, cats, dogs, perhaps a chicken, add a quiet rhythm to the night. Even on the coldest nights, these rituals, the baths, the careful layering of clothes, tending fires, bring a sense of calm. Blankets are tucked tight, candles are extinguished one by one. The castle breathes with the night, wrapped in shadow and quiet, and a gentle, reassuring calm settles over all. Section 2. Candlelight shadows and gentle nighttime sounds. Subtopic: visual ambience, flickering lights, and the soft auditory landscape of the castle night. Background: slow fire crackle, distant wind, faint rustle of animals. Candlelight fills the chambers now, casting a gentle golden glow across stone walls. Each flame flickers slowly, moving with the tiniest breath of air, throwing shadows that stretch, shrink, curl, and fold along tapestries, furniture, and the uneven stone. Each shadow seems alive, moving quietly, telling stories of the day that has passed. The shapes of chairs, tables, and beds become soft, gentle companions in the room, warm and welcoming in the amber light. The quiet is not absolute. You might hear the soft murmur of a servant finishing last chores, the gentle rustle of a cat or small dog curling up, the whisper of wind brushing against shutters. Occasionally, the faint drip of melting ice or snow sounds against the stone walls, rhythmic and slow, like a lullaby. Lying in your bed, the warmth of blankets wraps around you. Each sound blends into the night's rhythm. The crackle of the fire, the subtle clink of a bed warmer sliding beneath the blankets, the slow settling of wooden beams, all become a gentle melody, a comforting pattern that eases the mind. The candlelight dances more slowly now. Shadows stretch and retreat, curling softly along the floor and walls. Outside, the wind whispers against battlements. The faint sound of frost brushing windows adds a distant rhythm. The castle feels alive, but calm. Every sound and flicker of light becomes part of a soothing lullaby. Take a breath. Notice the warmth of the fire on your hands, the soft shifting of blankets, the subtle movement of candlelight on stone. Let the castle's quiet rhythm wrap around you, slow and steady, as the night stretches on. Section 3. Bed warmth, night comfort, and personal cozy rituals. Subtopic: settling into bed, warmth, textures, and small comforting practices. Background: gentle fire, soft wind, distant animal rustles. The hearth crackles softly, sending warmth across the stone floor. You sink into the bed, a soft straw mattress beneath, a thick feather mattress above, blankets layered carefully, each heavier than the last. Bed curtains are drawn, enclosing you in a quiet, private space. Flickering candlelight seeps through the edges, painting gentle patterns across the fabric. The warmth here is small but intimate, enveloping, comforting. A small bed warmer, carefully slid beneath the blankets, spreads gentle heat. It reaches your toes first, then ankles, knees rising slowly, wrapping you in quiet comfort. The faint smell of burning wax mixes with soft hints of herbs, or the lingering scent of wool and feathers, creating a calming cocoon of familiarity and warmth. Outside, the wind whispers against battlements, brushing the frost along windows. The sound is soft, distant, and part of the night's gentle rhythm. The castle itself seems to breathe, each stone and timber settling into quiet, slow motion. Blankets are tucked, pillows fluffed, and every movement is deliberate, slow, and comforting. Every tiny creak, the wooden floorboards, the shifting of animals in corners, becomes part of the night's lullaby. Here, surrounded by layers of warmth, soft shadows, and flickering candlelight, the cold of the stone fades. You can feel the calm spreading through your body, the gentle rhythm of your breath, syncing with the quiet heartbeat of the castle. Let the soft warmth, gentle light, and quiet sounds carry you deeper into the slow, soothing rhythm of medieval night. Section 4. The castle at rest, winding down into sleep. Subtopic: full immersion, stillness, rhythm, and hypnotic pain. Background: soft fire crackle, faint wind, distant animals. Now, the castle settles fully. The halls are quiet, footsteps and whispers have faded, stone walls hold the warmth of candlelight and the faint echo of life from earlier hours. Time passes slowly here. Candle flames shrink and flicker, stretching long shadows lazily across the room. The shapes bend and fold, filling the walls with soft golden hush. Outside, the wind moves gently across battlements, brushing snow or frost against windows. The sound is steady and soft, like a lullaby. Occasional distant hoots or soft rustles remind you that life continues. Yet the castle itself is a sanctuary of calm. Lying in bed, cocooned in blankets, the warmth spreads gradually from the hearth and bed warmer beneath. Each feather of the mattress, every fold of fabric, presses softly against the body. Even the faintest noises, the shift of blankets, the creak of floorboards, the stir of animals, blend into a soothing rhythm. Take a breath. Notice the soft sounds and gentle warmth, and let the castle's quiet rhythm wrap around you. Shadows settle, the fire dims, and every flicker of light and soft sound becomes part of a lullaby. Drift with this gentle rhythm, deeper and deeper, carried by warmth, calm, and the timeless pulse. Even as the castle settles, not everyone rests. The servants move quietly through stone corridors, finishing small tasks. Their footsteps are soft against the cold, hard floors, echoing gently in empty halls. They adjust logs in the hearths, tidy unused tools, and smooth blankets tucked in corners. Some carry trays with the last bits of food, their hands warmed slightly by the small flickering fires they pass. Others check the shutters against drafts, ensuring that the chill of the winter night does not slip into the halls. The sound of rustling fabric, the faint clink of metal, or the subtle creak of a door is a quiet companion to the night. The servants feel the cold differently than those who sleep in the grand chambers. Every movement is deliberate. Every layer of wool or cloak a small shield against the biting air. Yet even in the chill, there is a rhythm to their work, a soft, comforting repetition that carries them through the night. They pass quietly by the noble chambers, glimpsing the soft flicker of candlelight on walls, and in these moments they feel the same warmth that reaches the castle's higher floors, a fleeting comfort in the cold stone labyrinth. Section 4B. The noble families at night. Subtopic: how the lords, ladies, and their children experience the night, rituals and comforts. Background: soft fire crackle, quiet movement, distant muffled sounds of halls. In the noble chambers, warmth and comfort are slightly easier to find. The lords and ladies of the castle move slowly through evening rituals. Heavy curtains are drawn around beds, soft wool and feather mattresses are adjusted, and blankets are tucked carefully around each sleeper. Bathing, gentle brushing of hair, the faint scent of herbs, and carefully arranged clothing mark the transition from day to night. Children tucked into smaller beds or shared chambers listen to the subtle creak of floorboards and the gentle crackle of the fireplace. Perhaps a soft whisper from a parent, a reminder that the cold is kept at bay, settles into the rhythm of the room. The lords, wrapped in heavy cloaks, adjust candlelight, ensuring the flicker reaches each corner, chasing shadows that might seem too dark. Each movement is deliberate, slow, and comforting. The warmth of the fire, the rustle of blankets, and the soft scents of wax and herbs create a cozy cocoon, a private sanctuary in the sprawling castle. Outside their chambers, the cold presses against doors and windows, but inside, the layers of wool, blankets, and careful tending of fires make the room a warm, intimate haven. Every flicker of light, every soft sound is a part of the night's lullaby. Section 4C, the Knights and Guards on duty. Subtopic: Knights and Guards standing watch, their quiet vigilance and the cold they endure. Background: distant wind whistling through battlements, faint metallic clinks, occasional horse shift sounds. Not all in the castle rest. Along the battlements and corridors, knights and guards remain vigilant. Armor glints faintly in the firelight or under moonlit windows, and their breath creates small clouds in the cold night air. Standing at watch, they feel the bite of winter through gloves and heavy cloaks. Every step, every shift of weight is deliberate, a part of a disciplined rhythm honed through years of training. The soft rustle of chainmail, the distant hoot of an owl, or the subtle clatter of a horse shifting in the stables becomes a quiet music of the night. They move in careful, measured ways, their eyes scanning darkened windows, corridors, and towers. Even the smallest sounds, snow brushing the stone, a door rattling slightly, command attention. Yet there is also a strange calm in the repetition, in the silent pulse of the castle at rest around them. Knights often pause near a small fire in the guard room, warming hands or sharing a quiet glance with fellow sentinels. The cold is ever present, but in their vigilance, there is quiet purpose, a shared sense of protecting all the warmth and life inside the castle walls. Section 4D, the kitchen and hearths at night. Subtopic: activity and warmth in the kitchens, lingering smells, and late-night chores. Background: faint clatter of pots, gentle bubbling of late fires, muted movement sounds. Deep within the castle, the kitchens carry the last warmth of the day. Fires burn low in large hearths, casting flickering light over copper pots and hanging herbs. The aroma of bread, roasted meats, or herbs lingers, wrapping the stone walls in a comforting scent. Servants tidy cooking areas, pour the last warm water for washing dishes, and stack utensils carefully. Small movements, adjusting pots, carrying a final pan to the pantry, setting out night rations, make the kitchen alive yet quiet. The warmth from these hearths seeps into the surrounding corridors. Even those in the coldest outer rooms might feel a soft whisper of heat as it drifts along stone floors. The gentle clatter, the slow hiss of steam, and the muted crackle of embers become part of the castle's nocturnal rhythm. Sometimes a sleepy servant leans for a moment against a counter, feeling the comforting warmth of the hearth, listening to the faint sounds of distant corridors, and taking a deep, quiet breath before returning to the rhythm of the night. Section 5. Castle courtyards and outer grounds. Subtopic: courtyards, stables, and frozen grounds under moonlight. Background: faint wind, soft animal sounds, distant clatter of hooves. Beyond the main halls, the castle's courtyards lie quiet under the moonlight. Stones are cold, brushed with frost, and the occasional drip of melting ice creates a gentle rhythm. In the stables, horses shift softly in their stalls, their breath warm against the night air. A stable hand moves carefully, brushing a horse's mane, adjusting blankets to protect against drafts. The soft snort of an animal, the shuffle of straw beneath hooves, and the subtle creak of wooden doors add a quiet, living heartbeat to this outer world. The courtyards themselves are shadowed and still, Stone walls rise high, casting long, angular shadows across frozen ground. The faint scent of hay, smoke, and damp earth reaches through the air. Every step echoes softly as a guard or servant moves through the space, checking gates, adjusting lanterns, or pausing to watch flickering torches along the walls. Even in the cold and quiet, life pulses softly here. The castle's rhythm continues, subtle yet deliberate, a gentle reminder that warmth, protection, and care extend far beyond the comfort of the inner chambers. Section 6. Knights on patrol and watchtowers. Subtopic: Knights on towers observing lands, enduring cold. Background: distant wind, faint creak of wood, occasional metallic clinks. Atop the castle towers, knights keep their silent watch. Their eyes scan the moonlit horizon, observing fields, forests, and the distant glimmer of villages. Each breath forms small clouds in the frigid night air. Chainmail clinks softly as they shift, movements deliberate and steady. The cold presses against their cloaks and gloves, but a sense of purpose guides them. The wind whistles across battlements, carrying faint sounds of the city below. Dogs barking in alleys, a distant shout, or the soft clatter of wheels on cobblestones. From this height, the castle and surroundings appear vast and intimate. Shadows stretch across courtyards, roofs, and walls. Fires flicker in far-off homes and stables. Knights feel a connection to the rhythm of the entire domain, from the warmth of kitchens below to villages nestled under winter's quiet. Section 7. Life in the city beyond. Subtopic: distant city sounds, winter nightlife beyond castle walls. Background: faint city murmur, distant bells, soft footfalls on cobblestones. Beyond the castle, the city rests under a blanket of frost. Narrow streets lit by small lanterns reflect the pale glow of the moon. Occasional footsteps echo softly, a baker returning from early preparations, a traveller seeking a warm inn, or a guard pacing the city walls. Fires burn low in chimneys, sending wisps of smoke into the night. From here, faint laughter, soft conversation, or the cooing of pigeons carries on the cold air. The rhythm of life beyond the castle walls is slower, quieter now, yet still alive. The distant city and the castle exist in tandem. Warmth inside stone walls, soft glimmers of life in the streets below, and the quiet pulse of night stretching through the entire land. Section 8. The frozen landscape and nature at night. Subtopic: nature surrounding the castle, sounds, wind, snow, and distant forests. Background: soft wind, snow drifting, occasional distant animal sound. Outside the city and castle walls, forests and fields lie under frost. The wind moves gently, brushing branches, stirring the snow in quiet drifts. Distant animals, owls, foxes, or deer add subtle occasional sounds, soft and unobtrusive. The moon casts pale light across the frozen land, illuminating the silhouette of towers and village roofs. The cold is crisp but calming, a reminder of the vastness of this world. Even the farthest shadows, stretching across silent meadows, feel alive in the gentle rhythm of the night. The snow crunches quietly under an occasional passing traveller. Streams, partially frozen, glint in the moonlight. The distant murmur of the city and the stillness of the countryside merge into a slow, hypnotic cadence. Section 9. Gentle sounds and the whisper of the night. Subtopic: auditory immersion. Fires, distant animals, wind, and subtle life sounds. Background: very faint wind, crackling fires, subtle animal rustles. As the night deepens, every soft sound becomes a lullaby. The crackle of distant hearths, the rustle of animals in corners, the wind brushing against towers and trees, all join together. Even inside the castle, quiet noises form a gentle symphony. Floorboards shifting, blankets settling, doors creaking slightly. Outside, snowdrifts, distant bells, and the occasional owl create patterns that soothe the mind. Let your breath match this rhythm, slow and steady, each sound a soft companion guiding you into a calm, restful state. The night stretches slowly across the castle, a soft, deliberate river of time. Outside, the cold presses against the high stone walls, brushing the windows and heavy doors with icy fingers. The snow rests quietly on the parapets and courtyard stones, each flake drifting silently, landing and melting into the frozen surface. Inside, shadows dance gently across corridors. Candle flames flicker, casting moving patterns along walls of rough stone. Each flicker illuminates a corner, a door frame, a tapestry, then retreats, leaving the space again in soft darkness. The stone floors absorb the muffled footsteps of a passing servant. echoing just enough to remind you that life moves even here, in the hush of the night. In the upper towers, knights shift slightly, adjusting their stance as they watch over the darkened lands. Every breath forms tiny clouds, curling upward in the chill of the air. Their eyes trace the distant hills, the faint outline of forests, and the slivers of moonlight that reflect off frozen rivers and ponds. They listen to the distant murmur of a village, the low sound of animals rustling in barns, the occasional crack of a frozen branch giving way. Lower in the castle, in quiet chambers, the noble families settle further into warmth. The lords adjust blankets, shifting gently to find comfort on feather-stuffed beds. Children curl beneath layers of wool, small hands clutching blankets or a favorite toy, eyes drooping as the rhythmic flicker of candlelight soothes them. The air is scented with herbs, faint smoke from the hearth, and a soft waxy aroma from the candles. Every breath carries warmth and comfort, a gentle weight that invites relaxation. In the kitchens, embers crackle quietly in the remaining fires, a soft orange glow illuminating copper pots and hanging herbs. Servants move slowly, deliberately, tidying, stacking and arranging. The clink of a spoon or the soft shuffle of straw on the floor is absorbed into the rhythm of night, each sound small but significant, each motion purposeful yet slow. Even the smallest tasks become part of a quiet symphony, the castle itself breathing through the people who keep it alive. Time stretches here. The castle is both still and alive, the walls holding stories, memories and warmth. Each room, hallway and tower has its own subtle rhythm. The chill of the night contrasts with the flickering fires and carefully arranged bedding, creating a dance between cold and warmth, shadow and light, movement and stillness. As you imagine moving through these halls, feel the cool air brushing your face, the soft echo of distant footsteps, the gentle sway of candlelight, and the muffled murmur of life continuing quietly around you. Listen to the small sounds that fill the space, the shifting of a blanket, the distant howl of wind, the soft cough of someone adjusting in bed, and allow each tiny detail to guide your mind into a slow, gentle wander. Outside, the wind bends against the castle walls, rustling loose snow across stone ledges. The distant forests whisper softly, and the night sky gleams with pale stars, casting slivers of silver across frozen fields. Every glance, every movement, every sound is part of the living castle at night. There is no rush, no urgency, only the slow, deliberate unfolding of time guiding you, drawing you deeper into the calm and quiet of a medieval winter night. Now imagine yourself walking softly through the corridors, brushing past tapestries that move slightly with the draft, feeling the warmth of a hearth through an open doorway, noticing the subtle aroma of herbs and fires. Hear the distant footsteps of a guard pacing, the soft shuffle of a servant moving a tray, the faint whisper of children dreaming. Let your mind wander gently through the castle as the night continues, slow and unhurried, a river of warmth, shadow and sound, carrying you quietly along its current. The night will carry on like this, expansive and unbroken, a tapestry of frozen air, flickering light, and soft sounds. Every detail, every rhythm, every gentle creak of stone is here to lull you, to immerse you in the timeless heartbeat of the castle at rest, stretching into hours of calm, peaceful night. As night deepens outside the castle walls, the small taverns of the nearby town glow gently through the frost-tipped darkness. Lanterns hang from posts or peek through frosted windows, spilling pools of golden light onto the cobblestone streets. The snow crunches softly beneath the occasional passerby, muffled against the thick walls of buildings, and inside, life continues quietly. The air in the tavern is warm and carries the rich, earthy scent of burning peat and faintly spiced ale. A fire crackles gently in a low, wide hearth, sending soft shadows across wooden tables and benches. The light flickers across the faces of those who linger here, the weary traveller, the local villager, the quiet merchant, each one seeking warmth, comfort, and a gentle pause from the cold and dark beyond the doors. Innkeepers move slowly and deliberately, their movements deliberate, careful, and almost ritualistic. They pour the last mugs of ale, stir the embers in the fire, and rearrange straw for those who will sleep on the floors of the tavern tonight. The muffled clatter of dishes is absorbed by the thick wooden walls, creating a gentle rhythm, a soft backdrop that blends into the crackle of the fire and the occasional muted laughter. The conversations that float through the air are soft, low, and comforting. Travelers recount tales of distant towns, merchants share quiet gossip, and neighbors exchange whispers about the day's work or the weather. Even the laughter is slow, almost rhythmic, rising and falling gently, blending seamlessly into the overall calm of the night. Each voice, each word, is part of the tapestry of sound, weaving warmth and companionship in the chill of the evening. The inn is more than just a place to rest. It is a sanctuary. Straw beds are laid in corners, tucked with care, soft enough for short naps or a deep, long sleep. Small children cling to parents' sides, muffled by woolen cloaks and blankets. The aroma of freshly baked bread or roasted meats drifts from the back, filling the inn with a subtle comfort that makes the walls themselves feel alive, protective and welcoming. Outside, the wind brushes the windows and doors with icy fingers, but inside, time moves slower. Every movement is deliberate. The gentle shift of a footstep across a wooden floor, the soft scraping of a chair against a plank, the careful pouring of warm liquids into mugs. Even the smallest details, the flicker of a candle flame, the slight rustle of straw, the tiny sparks rising from the hearth, are amplified by the quiet, creating a soothing, meditative rhythm. As the night stretches, patrons begin to settle into their own quiet rituals. Some close their eyes for a moment, leaning into the warmth of the fire. Some gaze out the window, watching the slow drift of snowflakes, tracing their descent until they disappear into the darkness. Others whisper to companions, recounting a story or softly humming a tune, the gentle sound blending with the crackle of the fire and the muffled movements around them. Occasionally, a serving girl walks quietly through the room, her hands carrying empty mugs or small plates, her footsteps deliberate and soft, barely disturbing the rhythm of the inn. The faint sound of her presence, shoes against wood, fabric brushing a table, becomes part of the overall lullaby of the night. The patrons barely notice, yet subconsciously, the subtle sounds keep the inn alive, a slow pulse beneath the quiet. The warmth of the fire spreads across the room, reflected in faces and walls alike. Shadows flicker gently on the wooden beams above, giving the illusion of movement, a slow dance across the ceiling that draws the eye, then allows it to drift away, encouraging a soft, dreamy state. Outside, the frozen town is silent, but here within these walls, life continues softly and deliberately. Time itself seems to stretch in these moments. One can almost feel it bending, slowing down as every small detail, every sound, every flicker, every movement blends into a gentle rhythm. The mind relaxes, breathing matches the soft pulse of the inn, and the imagination drifts freely, moving from the warmth of one table to another, feeling the cool contrast of snow outside, the gentle heat of the fire, the comforting weight of wool blankets and soft straw beds. Even the aroma of the tavern seems to carry memory and history, hints of roasted grain, of spiced meats, of peat smoke curling into the air. Every inhalation is a subtle reminder of human presence, care, and rhythm. Each breath is slow, measured, calming. Even the soft laughter of a child or the low murmur of conversation adds to the lullaby, a gentle accompaniment to the flickering firelight. Here, the medieval night stretches on without rush. Every motion, every sound, every subtle scent contributes to the slow, deliberate flow of time. Patrons settle further into warmth. Conversations die down to whispers. Eyes grow heavy. Breath slows. And the inn becomes a living cocoon of calm, a safe harbor in the frozen darkness beyond its walls. Even as some drift into sleep, others continue small rituals, adjusting blankets, pouring one last mug, watching the embers fade to glowing coals. The inn is alive and quiet simultaneously, a place of gentle rhythm, comforting warmth, and slow, deliberate passage of the night. And so the tavern continues through hours of darkness, a softly beating heart in the cold medieval night, offering safety, warmth, and quiet reflection to those within, while the frozen streets outside lie still and silent under the moon and stars. The night moves on, measured and calm, the inn's soft sounds drifting out into the sleeping town, mingling with wind and snow, carrying comfort across the distance. Let your mind wander here, through flickering light, warm hearths, gentle laughter, and the slow, soft passage of time. Let yourself be carried by it, deeper and deeper. Beyond the warmth of the castle and the quiet hum of taverns, the roads stretch out into the night, winding through frost-covered fields, forests, and small villages. Travellers move slowly along these dark paths, their steps measured, deliberate, each one absorbed into the rhythm of the long winter night. Imagine a lone rider, cloaked in wool, the fabric brushing softly with each motion. The horse's hooves make gentle muffled sounds on the frozen ground. Steam rises from its nostrils, curling in the cold air, forming delicate, transient shapes that vanish as quickly as they appear. The rider pauses occasionally, listening to the whisper of wind through trees, the distant crack of a branch under the weight of snow, the faint glimmer of a star reflecting on icy puddles. Carriages roll slowly, wooden wheels creaking softly, a gentle rhythm blending with the night. Inside, travellers sit wrapped in blankets, muffled in layers to guard against the cold. Their breaths fog the air inside, forming soft clouds that drift upward, catching the warm glow of a lantern or the flicker of a small candle inside the wagon. Occasionally a traveller shifts, adjusts a blanket, sips warm tea or broth, or gazes quietly out at the frozen landscape. Small inns appear like beacons along the road, their light spilling softly onto the snow. Travellers see the glow from a distance and feel a quiet relief. The doors open with a soft creak, and warmth and light welcome them into a cosy refuge. The air is heavy with the scent of peat fires, roasting meats and warm bread. Inside, the soft clatter of dishes, muted conversation, and gentle laughter blend into a comforting hum, a gentle counterpoint to the frozen stillness outside. Even as some travellers rest, others continue their journeys, moving with care along paths that wind through forests or over hills. The moon reflects off frozen streams, painting them silver, while snow-dusted trees sway softly in the wind. Every footstep, every horse hoof, every subtle creak of a wagon wheel becomes part of the slow, meditative rhythm of night. In the quiet of the night, travellers notice details often missed in the day: the shimmer of frost on a branch, the delicate pattern of snow settling on a fence, the faint glow of distant windows in small cottages, and the rhythmic flicker of lanterns carried by other wayfarers. Each small light, each faint movement, is a companion on the long road, a reminder that life continues even in the deepest hours of darkness. Some travellers pause to rest along the roadside, laying down straw or using a small blanket to guard against the cold. Fires are built carefully, softly crackling, casting long shadows that stretch into the night. They sip warm liquid, listen to the wind, and allow the rhythmic sounds of the night. Snow shifting, distant animals stirring, the faint echo of voices far away, to wash over them. Each breath, slow and deliberate, matches the subtle rhythms of the environment, encouraging calm and rest. The night is alive with quiet movement. Owls hoot softly, foxes rustle through underbrush, and the wind carries the scent of pine, smoke, and cold stone. Travellers are part of this living night, blending human presence with the frozen, silent world around them. Their slow, steady pace becomes meditative. Every hoofbeat, every careful step, every soft rustle of cloak or blanket is a gentle percussion guiding the mind into a relaxed, dreamy state. Even the act of noticing small details, the shimmer of frost on a lantern, the soft crunch of snow beneath a foot, the distant glow of an inn, creates a rhythm. This rhythm mirrors the heartbeat, steady and slow, grounding the imagination and encouraging drift toward calm, peaceful sleep. And as hours pass, travellers finally find shelter for the night. Some slip into inns, soft straw beds, and the warmth of shared hearths. Some rest under the careful protection of stables, wrapped in blankets, soothed by the quiet murmurs of animals and the gentle glow of lanterns. And outside, the snow continues to settle softly, covering roads and fields, muffling sound and creating a peaceful, unbroken silence across the landscape. The world of travellers at night is both vast and intimate. Each journey, each small pause, each careful movement contributes to a quiet tapestry, a story of people moving through frozen moonlit landscapes, guided by lanterns, fires, and the faint rhythm of their own steps. Let your imagination drift along with them, feeling the cold air, the warmth of blankets and fires, the quiet hum of distant life, and the slow, unhurried passage of the night. As you breathe with this rhythm, notice how each small detail, the whisper of wind, the glint of frost, the soft murmur of conversation, slows the mind, eases tension, and invites your body to relax. The traveller's night is long and deliberate, and so too can be the journey of your mind into calm, quiet, gentle sleep. Outside the walls of the castle, beyond the gentle glow of lantern-lit streets and the occasional warmth of a tavern, the villages stretch quietly under the blanket of night. Peasant cottages, small and humble, sit nestled along frozen paths. Smoke rises in thin, curling streams from the chimneys, drifting upward and dissipating into the dark, star-filled sky. Each cottage is alive with faint movement and soft sounds, creating a delicate, comforting rhythm that fills the frozen landscape. Inside these cottages, the night begins gently, slowly, almost imperceptibly. Families gather near the hearth, where the fire burns low but warm, throwing soft, flickering light across walls of rough stone or timber. The smell of peat smoke mingles with the earthy aroma of dried herbs hanging above, each scent wrapping the inhabitants in a subtle, calming embrace. Children, small and bundled in layers of wool, settle into straw beds or small wooden cradles. Their movements are slow, tired from the day's labor, their breaths steadying as the warmth of the fire reaches them. Parents move deliberately, arranging blankets, checking that the children are tucked in, and quietly humming or whispering soothing words. Every small sound, the rustle of blankets, the soft sigh of a child, the muted footstep of a parent, is magnified in the still night, forming a gentle lullaby that fills the room. The adults, too, follow their own night rituals. Some tend to small chores, stacking firewood, checking the embers, rearranging simple furniture, or preparing a small meal for the next day. Each action is slow, careful, and rhythmic, almost meditative. The crackle of embers, the soft scrape of a wooden spoon against a pot, the gentle placement of wood in the hearth, all these become part of a subtle, hypnotic cadence that envelops the cottage in calm. Outside the cottages, the village sleeps quietly, yet life continues softly. Chickens roost in coops, horses huddle in stables, and dogs curl near fires or by doorways, their soft breathing blending with the wind as it rustles through trees, brushes against fences, or moves across frozen fields. Even the distant sound of a bell tolling a passing hour carries a gentle rhythm, a reminder that time flows slowly, unhurried and serene, across this medieval night. The villagers themselves often pause to reflect in these moments, leaning near the fire, listening to the subtle music of night. A parent's fingers linger on a warm pot, tracing the rim absently while their mind drifts. The quiet makes each thought more vivid, yet more gentle. Observing the shadows dance across walls, noticing the slight shimmer of frost outside a window, or feeling the faint chill creeping along the floor, all become part of a slow, immersive meditation, easing the mind toward rest. Sometimes neighbors' cottages are close enough for soft voices to travel across the night. A gentle greeting, a whispered word, or the faint laughter of a child playing quietly in a shared courtyard adds layers of life to the sleeping village. Even the smallest sounds, branches shifting under snow, the soft scraping of a cart or wagon preparing for morning, or the subtle movement of a person stirring in a bed, become part of the intricate nocturnal rhythm, comforting in its constancy. The peasant's night is also punctuated by small moments of warmth and comfort. The soft clink of a mug as someone sips the last bit of warm broth, the shifting of straw in a bed as a person settles in, the faint laughter of someone sharing a quiet story with a companion or child. These details, subtle and repeated, form a lullaby in themselves, a steady cadence of human presence and care. Time in the peasant village seems suspended. Each breath, each movement, each tiny noise is drawn out, extended by the quiet of the night. The wind whispers against the roofs, carrying snowflakes that twinkle in the faint moonlight. Trees sway softly, their branches brushing against each other and scraping against stone walls. Every sound, though small, is amplified by the hush of winter, creating a rich texture of gentle rhythm that fills the mind, soothing and calm. Even the simplest actions are transformed in this environment. Pouring a small mug of water, tending to the fire, wrapping a blanket around oneself or a child. Each motion carries thoughtfulness and presence, a mindfulness born not of urgency, but of the slow, deliberate pace of medieval life. The mind absorbs these movements like a gentle story, each detail inviting relaxation, each repetition coaxing the listener further toward calm. In the stables and barns, animals shift and breathe. Horses huff softly, their breath rising in delicate clouds, and cows settle against each other, rustling straw and creating a subtle soundscape of warmth and life. Even the smallest animals, the cat curling beside the fire, a dog stretching near the doorway, participate in this gentle rhythm, reminding the listener of life continuing softly, steadily, and without hurry. From the village centre, the distant sounds of the castle or a nearby inn sometimes reach the cottages. A faint bell, the soft echo of a carriage, or muffled voices carried on the wind. These distant echoes blend seamlessly into the local sounds, reinforcing the sense of community, of interconnected life, of a world quietly alive even in darkness. The night stretches on in the village, hours melting into each other without urgency. Candles burn low, embers fade slowly, snow continues to settle, and the soft, deliberate movements of villagers, children, and animals create a living, breathing lullaby. Every detail, the warmth of a fire, the faint scent of peat and herbs, the soft brush of wool or straw, the gentle rustle of a blanket, is an invitation to slow the mind, settle the body, and drift gently towards sleep. Even in the harshest cold, there is rhythm, warmth, and presence. The simple tasks of feeding, arranging, tending, and caring become meditative. The night's quiet encourages reflection and calm, allowing every breath to deepen, every thought to slow, and every heartbeat to align with the gentle flow of time. By immersing in these moments, imagining the textures, sounds, and warmth, the mind drifts freely. The slow passage of the night in the village, the rhythm of life continuing softly in cottages and barns, the distant lights of other homes, the quiet snow falling outside, all create a cocoon of calm and gentle security. And as the hours pass, the village finally grows still. Children sleep deeply, parents sit quietly near fading fires, animals rest, and the cold, crisp night outside presses softly against the warmth within. The village, the cottages, and the hearts within all settle into a slow, unbroken rhythm. And for the listener, this gentle tapestry of peasant life, repeated, observed, and imagined, becomes a soft, enduring lullaby, guiding the mind and body into deep, calm, restorative rest. As the night stretches on, the world of medieval life slowly settles into its quietest, most gentle rhythms. The castle halls are hushed, the fire embers glow faintly, and the frozen corridors rest in silence. The candles that flickered through the rooms for hours now lean softly toward the end of their life, their glow warm but gentle, throwing long, drifting shadows across walls and ceilings. Beyond the castle, the village rests. The cottages lie silent, except for the soft, rhythmic breathing of families tucked beneath blankets, and the faint movements of animals in their stables, shifting softly, curling themselves against the cold. The distant wind brushes rooftops and trees, carrying the quiet scent of snow and frost, mingling with the lingering warmth of fires and candlelight. Travelers on the roads have reached their inns or resting points. Their journeys are suspended in this moment, wheels and hooves paused, cloaks and blankets arranged carefully. Fires glow faintly, mugs sit quietly on tables, and the rhythmic sound of night, soft creaking, muffled footsteps, occasional whispers, echoes in the memory of the night. Each breath, each step, each flicker of candlelight has become part of a slow, meditative tapestry, enveloping the listener in warmth and calm. The peasants' cottages are still. Families breathe in soft, even rhythms. Children sleep deeply in straw beds, parents rest near fading hearths, and the animals, horses, dogs, cats, chickens, breathe in harmony with the quiet of the night. Every small motion, every soft sound, contributes to a lullaby that spans the entire village, echoing out into the fields, along the roads, and even toward the castle walls. Now, as we pause to breathe and reflect on this tapestry of medieval life, imagine the interconnectedness of it all. The flickering candlelight in the castle halls, the warm glow in the taverns, the muffled footsteps of travellers on frozen roads, and the quiet breath of families in cottages, all these details merge into a single, slow rhythm. It is a rhythm of life that is deliberate, mindful, and unhurried. Each layer of warmth, sound, and shadow invites the mind to drift gently toward calm and relaxation. Even the cold outside, the frozen stone, the crisp air, the distant snow, feels softened now. Through the warmth of hearths, the presence of people, and the careful attention to routine, the night itself has been transformed. Darkness is no longer harsh or biting. It becomes a gentle cloak, a soft embrace that invites rest, reflection, and ease. Let your imagination linger on the castle corridors one last time. See the long, dark halls softened by candlelight, the shadows flickering slowly along the walls, the subtle warmth emanating from small fires, and the faint, comforting sounds of servants moving gently through rooms. Hear the quiet shuffle of footsteps on stone floors, the low murmur of conversation, the soft creak of doors, and the occasional distant echo of wind outside. Allow these sounds to settle into your awareness, calming and centering your mind. Drift now into the warmth of the taverns and inns. Imagine the gentle glow of lanterns spilling across frozen cobblestones, the soft clink of mugs, the low hum of conversation, and the slow, steady rhythm of hearths glowing. Feel the comfort of blankets, the subtle scent of roasted grains and peat smoke, and the reassuring presence of fellow travelers. Let the mind wander here, absorbing the rhythm, the warmth, and the quiet companionship, even in the stillness of night. Shift gently to the travelers' paths. Picture them moving slowly through moonlit landscapes, horses breathing softly, wheels creaking quietly, and snow glinting in silver beneath the moonlight. Sense the stillness of the surrounding forests, the gentle sway of branches, the soft crunch of frost beneath each step, and the subtle, calming sounds of distant streams or flowing water. Allow the mind to move with them, gently, unhurried, flowing through the quiet night. Now settle into the village, where every cottage, every hearth, every breath of a sleeping child and shifting animal contributes to a deep sense of calm. Notice the warmth of fires, the slow movement of blankets, the faint hum of lullabies, and the gentle pulse of a world at rest. Each cottage is a small universe, alive with life, yet immersed in quiet, rhythmic stillness. Allow your mind to reflect on the layers of this world. The castle, the taverns, the travelers' roads, the cottages, they are all connected through warmth, rhythm, and light. The flickering flames, the soft footsteps, the distant owls' calls, the rustling trees, they form a slow, enveloping melody that carries both the imagination and the body into stillness. Notice the sensation of time stretching, unhurried, deliberate. Each detail of the medieval night, every small sound, every warm glow, every subtle movement, becomes a thread in a tapestry that wraps around you gently. The rhythm of life, extended across hours, encourages deep breathing, slowing thoughts, and settling the mind into a tranquil state. Take a final moment to drift through this world. Hear the distant echo of the castle's great halls, the low murmur of the inn's hearth, the slow steps of travelers, and the soft exhalations of villagers. Feel the warmth of fires, blankets, and human presence. Sense the gentle embrace of the night as it stretches endlessly, quiet and deliberate. The past and present merge softly now. The medieval night, with all its warmth, shadows, and rhythms, becomes a gentle landscape for the mind to wander. There is no hurry, no urgency, only the slow, meditative flow of life, echoed in every detail, from flickering candlelight to drifting snowflakes. Allow yourself to move with this rhythm, softening with each breath, sinking deeper into comfort, calm, and rest. As the night reaches its deepest, most peaceful hours, let the gentle nostalgia of lost times wash over you. Imagine the lives of those who lived, loved, worked, and rested under the same moon, with the same stars, and in the same quietude. Their rituals, their warmth, and their simple attentiveness now exist as a memory, a soft echo in the tapestry of imagination. Let it soothe you, guide you, and cradle you into a calm, uninterrupted sleep. Now, as this journey through flickering lights, frozen roads, quiet cottages, and warm hearths comes to a close, feel the expansive stillness settle around you. The castle, the tavern, the village, the travelers, they all drift gently into slumber, and so too can your mind and body. Breathe slowly, deeply, and effortlessly, sinking into warmth, calm, and quiet reflection. Stay here in this timeless embrace. Let the gentle glow of candlelight, the soft crackle of fires, the distant murmurs of life, and the hush of night guide you deeper into rest. Drift, slowly, softly, endlessly, and in this slow, deliberate quiet, the medieval night continues around you, timeless, expansive, and serene. Let yourself rest and return to this world whenever you wish, warm, safe, and cocooned in gentle light and rhythm. Thank you for wandering through this medieval world with me. There are more nights to explore, more flickering candles, more quiet corners of history waiting to be discovered. If you enjoyed this journey, come back and let us wander together again. There are more warm hearths, more quiet roads, and more gentle stories waiting in the candlelight. Subscribe, stay tuned, and whenever you wish, return to this space for another slow, restful journey through time. Until then, let the warmth of these nights carry with you, and let your dreams wander gently through the halls, villages, and quiet paths of medieval world.